row to look at these isolated trees later. This fence row right here, I'll walk around here. I'll walk this entire edge. But this is an area that we'll definitely scout next weekend, and I'll post some video on what we find. Okay, the second area I want to look at is this big, what I call a double oxbow right here. I just know, especially with these points coming off here and here, and with this further up point, that this is going to probably be a great bedding area. So here's the map on that. Once again, the blue line, I'm going to come in the morning. I'll probably do a loop in here and spend some time grid searching this. Once again, the bedding areas and the oxbows that I perceive. I do want to point out this point right here. Look at how predominant the mature tree point shows up in this late winter photograph. The same area is right here on this, and it just doesn't show up as much there. Same with this oxbow right here. You can kind of see the little isolated area, but this looks like the mature trees are right on the creek. When you actually bring out the winter photograph, you can see it's more CRP weeds here, and the actual transition is further back. So these maps really focus you in on where to go. And you can see I've already plotted, and I've got GPS points for this. So I hit all these areas in the morning on this side of that creek. All right. In the afternoon, once again, I'll walk this creek bank. There's a couple oxbows in here, a couple points over here that I'll definitely hit in this area. This is my second favorite area. Okay, and now hang on, and I'll pull up another map well, I don't have a blown up picture of it, but I'll concentrate on this right here. These right here are probably my fourth favorite with my third favorite, and I'll get to this here in a second. I really like these isolated. This is all CRP, and this can be anywhere from 2 to 4 foot tall. I really think we're going to find some buck beds in here, but probably best these are early season sits before the hunting pressure gets too intense and drives these deer back up into more of the brush. So we'll definitely walk this and check that out. The other area I really want to go back into is to look at this point over here, because once again, I really think that if the pressure on this wheat field here and over here picks up, I think later on it's going to drive the does across this creek and the bucks are going to follow. And I really, really, really like the set of cottonwoods right up in here for bedding. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised to find some buck beds under these isolated areas, even away from the main point. So this is also another area that we'll definitely check out next weekend. And I'll take some video and let you know what I find and how I plan to access and hunt all these areas. So this is video 3. It's just some of the things that I look for when I'm out. You know, before I ever get out to the land, I make a plan. I identify the areas where I want to spend the majority of my time. Now, if sign dictates I need to go elsewhere, I will. But this is where I'm going to focus my efforts on. And I've already identified in my mind the 4 major areas that I'm going to spend a lot of time in and probably set some camera. I'll definitely set a camera up in this funnel, because I know I will get pictures of the bucks as they come through here. I might look at setting up a mineral lick maybe over here in the brush somewhere to where it's close enough to where the bucks will eventually find it, but won't booger this area up. We'll see. I also chose these 2 areas as my primary, not only because of the great funnels and bedding areas, but also the creek will give us access. These islands over here of trees will be a lot harder to get in on in the evening, and I really think you're going to have to, if I want to hunt these, I'm going to have to come in with the morning and come through here hoping to catch the bucks coming from that wheat field over. Same with this right here. This one right here will probably access through here morning or evening, with the idea that the bucks are probably bedded up here, and I'm going to guess their staging area is somewhere on this edge. We'll see. I mean, all this is speculation at this point. The only way to verify any of this is to go put some boots on ground. So once again, my color scheme, so just so you understand, is my blue is where I mark where I'm going to walk the morning route. The yellow are the areas that I think are going to possibly hold buck bedding. And you know, a mature buck is going to bed anywhere. He might have 5, 6 beds in this one point. That might be one of his areas. He might have another area over here where he has 2 or 3 beds. trying to pin down the bed that he uses the most is almost impossible down in the area I hunt. They just move around based on wind direction in this entire area. So, but the red will indicate where I'll walk that afternoon, and we'll see how it goes next weekend. So what I encourage you to do if you're following along is to, hey, drop some comments down below if you see an area in here. You know, if you look at this and you say, well, Dave, I really think you should really scout that point right there, maybe that isolated tree, put it down there, and I'll try to do as much as I can. Obviously, I can't cover it all, but I'll do as much scouting as I can and address any comments or concerns you have. But keep in mind, I'm definitely going to focus in on that area right there. That's my #1 spot. I really think I can go in there and kill a buck. Oh, I know I can kill a buck in that area. There's no doubt in my mind. I really think if there's a mature buck in this area that I want to pursue, that's probably my best opportunity to kill him, and probably late in October. But overall, I've got 4 areas in my mind that I'm going to scout out and potentially do multiple setups based on wind. I mean, there's an oxbow here and here, and based off of the wind, typically how I find these deer bedding a lot of times, if they bend in the oxbow, is they like the wind blowing over their back, so you know, and facing the water. So a deer might bed on this point right here with a south wind, because it covers anything trying to sneak in on him on this side of the creek. It's kind of open down in here, as we already saw in that one photograph, and they can look down into the creek, and it offers them a good escape route. Okay, and with these points right here, I think this is higher elevation. I'll confirm that when I go out there, but I really think that we'll find some rubs in here. Probably some of my bigger rubs will be found in here, but that's because it's more late season as the pressure picks up, and these bucks are getting pretty frustrated by this point because it's getting into the breeding season. And so I bet we find more of the bigger rubs here. I think right here what we're going to find is a lot of good deer trails, good creek crossings. And hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with identifying doe bedding areas. In fact, that's one of the things I do, because I know come late October and early November, and even all through December then, and sometimes even into January in the 3rd rut, that these bucks are following the does. So where the does go, the bucks are going to go. And this is just, it's a triple funnel, close to 1, 2, 3, 4 major oxbows on this creek. There's points off of here where bucks could be bedding on any of this. There's major doe bedding, I guarantee, in all that and all of this. There's a point here where bucks could be bedding. There's isolated trees here. I mean, you get the point. Any deer that's coming this way, any deer that's walking this way, any deer that's coming in from the private, any deer coming down the creek, the one place where they're all going to pass through is right here. So this is my #1 spot. This is #2, with this being a close #3, and then we'll check out this for some early season hunts. So drop your comments down below, and I'll give it a whirl.